Hello, hello, hello. This is Latanya, Miss Coach Deloach, and I just finished with my walk. Really want to talk about credit, but it's Sunday, right? So, I wanted to talk about the response of Detrick Haddon. I saw on his Instagram about church hurt, right? And he said church hurt. Let me move my chair while I'm talking. He was stating that church hurt wasn't any different from a bad shopping experience at Target or Walmart or, something of that nature. I don't really agree with that, right? I really don't agree with that because one of the first things, if you go to Bible school as a child, as a kid, you hear one of the first scriptures you learn is 3 words: God is love, right? The people at Walmart or Target are not trained to display godly love. And let's be honest. Hello, Mr. Porter. How's the weather in Texas? It's been here in Mississippi. And the people at Walmart and Target are not trained to display godly love. And at least when you go to Walmart or Target and you have a bad shopping experience, you have options, right? Yeah, I know. It's hot here, too. You have options. You don't have to go to that same teller, or you can at least report it to a manager. But what if you experience church hurt and it's come from the pastor? Then who do you go to but God, right? And so you're taught, or you have expectation that church is a safe haven. It's an environment. It's an incubator, a place of love and restoration. A place where the hurting get healed, a place where people are shown love, a place that if you serve and you serve voluntarily, right, you're not a staff that's getting paid, that if you decide that, hey, this church mission or whatever no longer serves my ministry, that you would at least get a thank you of appreciation. And so church hurt, it is just not one bad experience. It's not one bad altercation. It usually happens over time, over years. It's usually from the people that are in leadership positions. And so it's real, right? And so anytime that there's division in a church, and it's 2 different directions. And division just means to divide, right? You're dividing a vision. Then you can simply leave, but I think that should be under the circumstances of showing and displaying. Church is very real, right? It's very real, and showing and displaying godly love, because a spiritual hurt is not like a bad experience at shopping at Walmart or Target. Because when it's spiritual, right, you're expecting the love of God to intervene. So I want to talk about credit, but it's Sunday, and so I really wanted to get that. Hey, Tasha, how you doing? I really want to get that out there, because a lot of times we want to sweep things under the rugs in churches. I don't see how anybody can be under leadership that can't show love to people that decide to go a different direction of a church. You can't even speak to people if you're at Walmart or Target. And you are supposed to be, God said, my disciples by the love they show, right? Not speaking one against the other, not causing division, not abusing the sheep, but leading them, right? And at least having a heart-to-heart conversation and say, hey, we thank you so much for the lives you saved, for the souls you brought into our ministry, and we appreciate it. And, the office that you served in while they're here. But church hurt is so real. It's just as real as any other emotional hurt, because it's a relationship. But on top of that, it's a spiritual relationship. And so a spiritual relationship cuts deeper, because the love of God is supposed to be present. I can see why God spent more time with sinners than he did with saints, because the saints would give you the biggest criticism, the biggest hurt, and sometimes the biggest arrogancy, right? Very arrogant, And the biggest, I don't care about you. You know, I think if you ever hear a pastor say, well, I can pastor this person, but I can't pastor that one, then you're not supposed to be pastoring anybody, right? If a pastor comes to a funeral and they can't speak to a loved one at a funeral, or send some type of regards to someone that had lost a loved one, then you don't need to be in that position to pastor. If you can't tell a person that serve your church and your ministry that they're leaving, regardless of whatever you think their mental or emotional state is, thank you for your services, then you don't need to be in that position. Just quite honest, because you're supposed to be, okay, Tosh, you're supposed to be at a higher level. And if you're not equipped, not only mentally and emotionally, but spiritual to handle that level, then you need to serve at a level that you can be. Right, and you wonder why the numbers are down. You wonder why the tithes are down. You wonder why the offerings are down. When you can go and spend your money, I'm going to say Essence. I went to Essence two weeks ago, and you can get Mary J. Blige to minister to you about her pain, you know. and you can keep your tithes and offering, then to go to church and to be preached on and criticized, right? Some people are hard to lead than others. You know, I'm a coach. I understand it. But you have to understand your position. And as a coach, I'm just in a leadership position. But as a pastor, you know, you're in a higher position, right? You know, the Bible says judgment will first begin with the house of God. He didn't say the streets. He didn't say the sinners. He said judgment, Timothy, judgment first starts with the house of God. So, hey, happy Sunday to you. Make sure you hit like and hit share for me. And just know church hurt is real. And if you're going to be a pastor, show the love of God. God is love. I'm signing off, Miss Coach Love.